Good morning, Rabbi. With regards to Shulchan Orech, which is a lot of people's favorite part of the Seder, so on a year like this year, we know that in general, the Seder plate has two cooked foods on it. One, the zroa, the roasted shank bone of the lamb, that's zecher lekorban Pesach, and there's also the hard-boiled egg, zecher lekorban chagiga. The Gemara said, the Mishnah said that there's supposed to be two tafshilim, two cooked foods. Which are those? Some people even have a minhag to eat the hard-boiled egg. Different people during different parts of the Seder. Some people after Kiddush. Some people at the beginning of the Seudah. Everybody has their own minhag. There's a question among the poskim. It's actually a tosfot on the bottom of Pesachim Kuf Yudalet Amud Bet, whether or not on a year like this year, when Leila Seder falls out on Motzei Shabbat, do we still have an egg or not on the ke'ara? We're eating it. Why not? Because if the whole purpose of the egg was zecher, to commemorate the Korban Chagiga, when Erev Pesach fell out on Shabbat, like it does this year, only the Korban Pesach is dochet Shabbat. Only the Korban Pesach, the offering of the Korban Pesach, pushes away Shabbat, and we're allowed to desecrate Shabbat for the Korban Pesach. But for the Korban Chagiga, it's not dochet Shabbat. So maybe, since there is no Korban Chagiga on a year like this year, we shouldn't have the commemoration either. Be'emet kacha, several Rishonim hold like that. However, the Mishnah Berurah and the Kaf HaChaim in Siman Taf Ayin Gimal, they disagree with this view, and they hold la'alacha that even on a year like this year, Bizman Shevet HaMikdash Kayam, they wouldn't bring a Korban Chagiga. Nevertheless, we still do the commemoration, and for those who customarily eat it, you eat it also, and they bring several reasons for this. Now, another very important halacha with regards to the Seudah of Leila Seder. It's very important to tell the people who are preparing the meal, whether the women or men, whoever's cooking, it's very important. Our minhag, first of all, the Mishnah says that it is forbidden to eat gedi mekulas bechol makom, which means that bizman she'en bet hamikdash kayam, when we don't have, unfortunately, the Korban Pesach, you're not allowed to eat gedi. You're not allowed to eat a whole lamb that's fully roasted. Rosho al kira'av. Why? Because that's too much of a resemblance to Korban Pesach. It looks like a person's eating kadashim bachutz. There's a machloket. What happens if it's not an entire lamb? What happens if it's just a piece? Roasted piece of lamb. The Mishnah says, it's telui what? Makom shenahagu. Different places at different minhagim. Maran Zechron Bracha says that in his Chazon Ovadia, he says that if a community doesn't have a specific minhag to do so, everybody has to assume, in most places, especially among the Sfaradim today, have the minhag not to eat any roasted meat whatsoever, any roasted lamb, and that extends to anything which requires shechita. Roasted lamb, beef, chicken, all of these things roasted, asur b'leila seder mechamat minhag. Now, not only that, he says it's not only roasting. Roasting extends also to baking. If you have anything like a baked chicken, a baked meat, whatever it is, those things are asur also mechamat minhag. Therefore, the only kind of meat that you can have b'leila seder are things that are cooked with some sort of a sauce, some sort of a gravy, something that is motzi, something that would make the Korban Pesach pasul, right? Because the Torah says, Uvashel mivushal b'mayim, you're not allowed to cook it. You have to bedavka do something like that to the meat in order to conform with the minhag and not resemble the Korban Pesach whatsoever, and that is the halacha for us. Yeah.
Searing a steak is considered roasting?
Vadai.
Even though it's pan-seared.
Pan-seared, the point is that it doesn't have any, it only has its own natural juices, which is not enough. It has to have some sort of external gravy, whether it's water or sauce or wine or whatever it is. So over there, that's what you have to do. So searing a steak would not be, according to this minhag, would not be acceptable for Leila Seder, and that's with regards to that. One last halacha on this point, the Ben Ish Chai writes in Parashat Tzav that a person should not eat his fill necessarily on Leila Seder. I know at this point many people get very hungry, but he says a majority of the foods for Yom Tov should be left for Yom Pesach. Why? Because B'Leila Seder, if a person pounds by Shulchan Orech, by the time he gets to the Afikoman, which is a mitzvah le'echolota, you have to eat Zechel Korban Pesach ne'echal ala sava. A person has to eat it while satiated, but not while achila gasa. If a person's already, if a person's stuffed and he mamash can't eat it, kimat velo yotzei dechova. So a person has to be careful. Take it easy b'leila seder, a little bit lichvod yom tov, but then knowing to be moshech et yadav. Mishechu, mashchu yedehem min ha'ochel. Right, a little bit, just a little bit lichvod yom tov v'zeu. Tov, Shabbat Shalom. This evening, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will have mincha ve'arvit at 6:45. Shabbat Shalom.